Hey y'all, we are back and we are ready to go find our ideal clients and talk to them. So hopefully you've done your workbook, filled out your whole workbook, and you came up with some questions that you want to ask your ideal clients to get a little bit more clear about their struggles and their goals. And remember, the point of it is to listen to the specific words that come out of their mouths so that we can then use those words in our materials and connect with them on that deeper level. So I'm just going to share with you today some ways that I have used in the past, and I'll kind of tell you some of them work better than others and which ones you should focus on, but I'm going to just tell you all of them. I'll give you everything I got. Cool? So first thing you should do is start with your past clients. Hopefully you have already worked with clients in the past that are your ideal clients, and you can, call them up and say, hey, would you mind answering a few questions for me? That's the easiest way because you already have that relationship established with them and you're already in that position in their mind. So you can ask them questions like, what made you pick me in the first place? Or how did I help you achieve your goal? And what was it about me that you felt like was valuable? So that's going to help you a ton when you're writing out, website copy or ad copy or Facebook post or whatever it is, those specific words that they use. If you haven't worked with any, ideal clients in the past, hopefully you'll have some that at least kind of fit and you can kind of tailor the questions to them to try to get some results that you can use. But that's going to be the easiest, is finding people that you already have that relationship with. So then the next one would be people that you know for the same reason. So when we're doing this ideal client stuff, a lot of times our ideal clients are like past versions of ourselves or like people that we know very closely, like a best friend or a family member or something that has happened in their lives that has motivated us to do whatever it is we're trying to do in our business. So even if it's somebody like a best friend or somebody that you wouldn't actually work with, but they still fit into that ideal client mold, you can totally ask them the questions too. And again, you already have that relationship established, so it's going to be much easier to get more candid responses from them and actual real language that they would use when they're talking to someone. It's going to be super helpful. So hopefully you know somebody that you can ask. If you don't, or if you've already asked everybody you know and you still need more, we'll hop on over to Facebook. So Facebook is amazing for doing research. You have to be careful of a couple things. You have to be careful that you're not being like spammy and posting in a ton of groups to ask the same questions over and over again. So you want to be careful of that, and you also want to be very, very specific with the questions that you're asking. So you don't want to be posting things like, what's your biggest struggle with branding? Like, would be something I could post. That's too vague, and people are going to get annoyed with that. Like, there's a million of those posts already, and people are sick of them, in my opinion. But you could ask something much more specific, like, if you're struggling with your ideal clients, can you rank, the top 3 things that you're struggling with? So just being very, very specific on Facebook is going to help you a ton. So one thing that you can do is surveys. Honestly, surveys are my least favorite part because I feel like to get somebody to click on something, to leave Facebook and go spend 5 minutes of their life filling out a survey for you, that's asking a lot when they don't know who you are. That's just my opinion. You can still use surveys with, your past clients or the people you already know, or like if you have an existing email list, you'll have better luck with a survey there. Again, still be very specific with the questions, but it is possible to do that on Facebook. A way that works a little bit better are the polls. A poll is good because it's much easier to get people to do it. It's just a one-click answer. It's not as much of a time commitment for them. But it's also limited for you. You can only ask one question at a time. So you want to really make it count, like one really good question. And you can also try to put things in there like pick which things you're struggling with and then tell me why in the comments. Some people will, some people won't. But polls you'll probably have a little better luck with than surveys. The next thing you can do on Facebook is the search feature. So let me just share my screen. We'll hop over there real quick. You can type in this search bar up here, like ideal client, and you'll know what to type in the search bar if you filled out your workbook and you know the types of things that they're struggling with and what they're looking for. So type in ideal client. You want to make sure you're clicked on posts. I like to click in my groups, because if it's just a random, a post where I have no connection to them at all, they're less likely to answer me and more likely to think I'm some spammy weird person. So I like to only search in the groups that I'm in, and I like to search by most recent, so I'm not accidentally responding to something that's from like 2 years ago. But you can kind of just scroll through here and see what types of things people are saying about ideal clients. With this method, you are going to get a lot of other people's stuff. Like, you'll get a lot of other coaches and stuff talking about ideal clients, like Michelle. Michelle's an awesome branding person, but she's asking the same questions that I would ask. So just because it's not your ideal clients talking doesn't mean you can't get something out of it. So like, we could click on one of these that's asking a question and see what their answers are and let them do some of that research for you. We don't have to reinvent the wheel here. People have done this stuff before, so we should take advantage of what's there. So that's a really cool way. I searched messaging the exact same way. Just kind of see what people are typing in there. Cool. So that's that. I'll hop back off. And then the last way are assessments. This is my favorite way for Facebook. So what I like to do is come up with something super valuable to bribe them. Is basically what it is. Like, because I don't want to get crappy results. I don't want to spend any time of mine on something that I'm not going to be able to use. So I get the best results if I get people who are like invested in helping me. And I do that by also helping them, kind of trade value for value. So I'll say, we'll hop on the phone for 20 or 30 minutes. We'll review your website. We'll talk about your branding and your messaging. And then if we can just spend the last 5 to 10 minutes of the call with some of my questions and let me ask you a few questions and get your feedback, what do you think about that? Stuff like that works beautifully. Like, people are so much more willing to give you feedback after you've shown them that you're a person of value and you are also looking to help them and you're not just out for yourself. So that's my favorite way. I've done bazillions of those assessments and they're all awesome. I've gotten such good feedback from doing those. So those are my tips for finding your ideal clients to do your research. So hopefully that was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions, and good luck.